Okay, hello, my name is Jessica Contino, and the title of my unit plan is Fall Shaping Our Lives. You may have guessed my theme is fall. With my theme, I did have trouble with my rationale and figuring out, why am I doing this? So I started creating my lessons, and I then realized how important fall is, how it shapes our day to day and our lives. Things like wearing a sweater, or pumpkin spice lattes, or our events on the weekends, going pumpkin picking, going apple picking. I knew fall was motivating when I was a kid, and although I remember doing all the projects and loving that, and even as an adult, I enjoy the change in seasons. So I knew it would be a fun topic. I knew it was an important topic. And then I realized that fall is the first big change that my class will experience together. This makeup of students is probably different than the year before, and I'm different as their teacher. So it's a real physical thing that we all get to experience together. And I chose to make my unit plan for second grade because that's who I was observing at this time. So my essential questions, they came from my rationale, and it was, how does the fall season affect our society and surroundings, and how does the fall season affect us on a personal level? So my enduring understandings, I kept checking back with the standards that I chose for my lessons and with my essential questions. I tried to think of them as the key takeaways from each lesson. So for ELA, it was about effective writing by using the lessons that we learned in temporal phrases. And for us, our narrative storytelling can be very effective using all of that. For social studies, it's a focus on geography and natural resources, and it's important for the students to understand that people settled in these places in our world intentionally at certain locations so that they could have these natural resources. And things like our production of goods, where things are coming from, is often highly influenced by the land which people are living. For science, it's important for them to understand that matter can change state due to temperature changes, solid to liquid, liquid to gas. And for math, counting by fives aids in time and money. And we work mostly with money in that, but they'll really see how important that is with their learning and counting. So my civic engagement and my arts integration, they really set our fall theme. I think I would definitely start our civic engagement, our unit with civic engagement. It's essentially a leaf raking project. I originally thought about doing it at a park. I saw a lot of events in the city, in New York City at the time, but my real idea would probably be doing it with the elderly, even if it's a list of grandparents in our classroom or a veterans home if they don't have the service already. My idea is that students, they rake and bag leaves. We collect samples to classify them in the classroom, the type of tree. And we also really talk the learning portion a lot about why we rake leaves, things like for grass growth, how we make mulch out of grass and leaves, and just this overall sense of giving back to the community and being one with our environment and surroundings is really important for our theme. And then our arts integration is going to be a tree drawing project. I would provide paper and markers. And I thought of this in a few ways. We could do a tree before and after the leaves have fallen, or really condensed within fall, from going from green to leaves changing to leaves falling. Or we can do this throughout the course of the year and make it a full season project. But putting those ideas on paper, I think, is a really cool idea. And the civic engagement should come before the arts integration. That way they can start thinking about how they would draw their project. Okay, so for the rest of my presentation, I'm going to go through each of my lessons, just kind of discuss the core ideas, and then share some additional resources that I included in my unit project that I thought was really exciting about the lesson. So my ELA, my standard that I chose was to write narratives which recount real or imagined experiences or a short sequence of events, including details to describe actions, thoughts, and feelings. Use temporal words to signal event order and provide a sense of closure. So I came up with the objective. After a demonstration on using temporal phrases in storytelling, the students will compose their own sequential narrative on the fall storyboard rough draft organizer, scoring a 3 out of 4 on a teacher-constructed rubric. So essentially, I lead a demonstration discussion on how to carve a jack-o'-lantern, the steps and the order of tasks that need to be done. The students will guide me in choosing the order of such tasks, and that'll range from going pumpkin picking to placing the candle inside the jack-o'-lantern at the end. And that will lead into our lesson about sequential terms, temporal phrases. So the knowledge they'll learn here is about those words and phrases, effective storytelling when you get to incorporate those transitional sequential words. They're going to be writing full sentences, incorporating prior knowledge of actions and emotions, and our new temporal phrases, and they'll be using a storyboard organizer, possibly for the first time, which I included for you to see. I am assessing them, on a 6-step storyboard. Well, they'll include an image, they will include their temporal phrase, action, word, and emotion for each block. So for the jack-o'-lantern, the first would be going pumpkin picking. The second would be carving on my stencil. The third is removing the guts from the jack-o'-lantern and the pieces. The fourth is, cleaning it up. Then it's putting it on display and then lighting the candle. And then an adaptation I have is this 3-step one. It could be for the ENL student who struggles to write, or the dyslexic student who needs more space on the lines, more wider, thicker lines, and the struggling student as well. They'll only be assessed on the 3 most complete steps of their storyboard. And these are some additional resources to help the struggling student, to help the ENL student who needs some images associated with the words, a pumpkin emotions chart, and my action verbs. I found both of these on Teachers Pay Teachers, which is great. All right, so my social studies lesson, this was inspired when I read that Long Island has some of the highest either production or the highest sales of pumpkins for the country. It's one or the other, but I then thought about natural resources and Eastern Long Island and the land, the geography. I found the standards, the location of physical features and natural resources often affects where people settle and may affect how those people sustain themselves. So pretty much direct instruction, because after learning about natural resources on different continents, the students will work in pairs to research and create their own natural resources map of Long Island, including an icon key with their crops, natural resources, and a headliner to describe Long Island natural resources or crop production. Kind of incorporating some of those instructional strategies we learned recently in class. So they are going to learn about the importance of geography and natural resources, starting to connect that land influences where the crops are grown. It influences where cultures will settle, why they settle there. Look at to compare different communities within Long Island and even in our direct instruction about different continents in general, and examine natural resources on Long Island. So I found this pretty cool website called Generation Genius. I'll just click it right here. But I thought this could be used for a reteaching, or it could be used for academic enrichment, or if there's time when they're finishing their map, they can explore this website. There's a cool video here, has some really awesome read-alouds for what's going on in the blurb. Definitions, there's vocabulary, and then there's some cool discussion questions that the students can work on together in their pairs if they want, or they can just read it for self-knowledge. So great website. They do a lot of curriculum-based lessons on there too that I think are for sale, which is pretty cool. Okay, so science. So I love teaching science. I think our curriculum is a great way to teach the methods with physical objects. So I wanted to use some fall props pretty much. So I found the standard plan and conduct an investigation to describe and classify different kinds of materials by their observable properties. And with their properties, I thought about our states of matter. So after engaging in a fall prop-based discussion on the different types of matter, students will complete the states of matter worksheet, scoring at least 10 out of 15 in the correct columns. So something I would be doing is constantly referring to the props while teaching the methods. Hold up the apple, hold up the little pumpkin that I bring in to talk about how tightly compact the molecules are. Or take the cup of apple cider and pour it on a tray to show how the surface area is expanding, how it's not a defined shape. Students are going to learn the difference between liquid, solid, and gas. They're going to start classifying objects correctly based on their properties, and they'll understand that the states of matter can change due to changes in temperature. And for academic enrichment, I came up with a little mini organizer, a T-chart organizer. Students can fill it out based on personal experience and research, but it's to really start thinking about where we see states of matter changing based on temperature. I created this, things like cheese, when it heats up, it starts to melt, fondue. Same with chocolate. And even a candle, you light the candle, heat is there, and then your wax, it comes into liquid form, and the heat goes away, and then it hardens back up. Okay, so math, I wanted to keep my fall props in motion. Anytime you can recycle material as a teacher, efficient, you're not wasting product, but having everything in the room at the ready is, for me, anytime would be great. So working with time and money is my standard. And my objective after watching a demonstration on the value of the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and dollar, students will complete an exit ticket based on the fall prop pricing, scoring 7 out of 10 correct. So they're going to learn dollar and coin value and the different ways to reach the same value when working with money. And we'll see that here. I came up with this cooperative learning game strategy where students are working in groups of 3. One person will be the price maker and the judge, and the other 2 will be racing to come up with the priced item value in monetary form. So each student will judge twice and then compete 4 times. So the price maker sets 85 cents per apple, and then the 2 students doing the money will come up with a way. It might be different, it might be the same, but that's kind of the point. So you can kind of say, yes, this is right and this is right. An example is 3 quarters and a dime or 8 dimes and a nickel, both equaling 85 cents. And this is like a great option for responsibility for one person, cooperative learning for the others. I also wrote down, I had one other idea about this. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Oh, the idea of using fake money. If you don't have the fake money props, students can draw a circle with a 5 in it for a nickel, or a circle with an N in it for a nickel, and start to kind of think of it that way. So a great option if you don't have your materials. And my references, this is my fall unit plan. I'm not a teacher yet, but I definitely like this idea. I really enjoy doing this project and thinking about how fall affects our daily lives and our society. So thank you.